How big can a carport be and how close to the rear? Okay, so if you want to build a carport, you have requirements. It has to be at least 3 foot from the rear property line. It has to be no taller than 10 feet, and it cannot be any wider than 24 feet long. And I think that dimension's given to us from planning and zoning because 3 cars, I think, is the idea. You know, we don't want to get 4 cars in there because I guess 3 is a better number. 3 always looks better. So that's probably where we are on carports. Is a permit required for a shed, patio cover, or a pergola? So we see this a lot, especially in the summer as we approach that build time. So the answer is yes and no. So let's just confuse you a little bit. Now this is where we lose people when we're talking about this and we get this question. A permit is not required if your shed, patio cover, pergola is 120 square feet or less. Okay? And that's where we lose everybody when we're talking to them. The next part of this is that, however, it still has to comply with the planning and zoning requirements. So what are those? Those are varied and far between. So since we only have a few minutes here, I'll just give you a couple of them. The shed can't be any taller than 10 feet, can't be any side yard setbacks. If you live on a corner, it gets more severe. It's probably got 15 foot on the side. It's got to be 10 foot from the house, 3 foot from the rear. So a lot of those also apply to your pergola, and probably the same thing for your patio cover. But give us a call. We'll try and help you. And you know, if we confuse you, just call us again. Do they need permits for window and door replacements? They do, and so do you. So the reason we need permits for windows is not every window is a typical window. And the window, let's say, that you have in your bathroom that might be lighting up right the space over your tub, that window's special because it'd have to be safety glazed. Safety glazed is if it breaks, it's not going to break into sharp shards. It'll be little bitty pieces of glass if it ever broke, so it wouldn't cut you while you were in there. Same thing for a window next to a door within 24 inches. There's different requirements. For a door, the only reason we're looking at that is because sometimes people add doors where they weren't going to have doors before. They don't tell us that part, so that's why we always tell somebody that if you're going to have a door in question as a permit, we want to make sure you're putting in a door that works. When must I hire an electrician or a plumber versus doing the work myself? And why do I still need a permit if I'm doing the work myself? So, yeah, myself's in there twice, but I think we'll start with the electrician or plumber part. If you hire an electrician or plumber, you're basically acting as a general contractor, so you're going to be responsible for everything that they do. And so when we permit that, it's better if you hire a general contractor to take care of all that. So they'll be responsible for making sure everything's done right, because otherwise you're going to be responsible for all of that, which is the second part of your question as to doing the work yourself. You can do the work yourself, and it would have to be your home, and your home would actually have to be homesteaded. And you do that at the Central Appraisal District, and I think you get a discount on your appraisal taxes if you do that with homesteaded. So it's kind of an advantage if you do that. That's helpful. But the reason we allow you to do that is it's your house. You're not working as a contractor for someone else, so it would just be for you. But we're still needing a permit so we can make sure that everything was installed correctly, and we'll work with you if you're doing your job. Why is a garage sale state sale permit required? I think that's estate sale. Yeah, okay. So we require garage sale permits because we only allow 3 in a year. and then they can only last up to 72 consecutive hours, I think is the ruling. And we offer those permits for free online. You can do that on the website. And when you plug in your address, we're going to know that you are on the count. So for the year, we're able to monitor that you don't have more than 3. And it's really for protection, to make sure that we don't have an element out there of a business selling things all the time. Say someone was selling something all the time at their neighborhood that might not meet with a lot of good neighbors liking each other or something like that. So, 3 garage sales is what we have, and that's probably a good idea to keep it to that number. How can the city help me or protect me from getting scammed by a contractor? That's tough. I mean, no one wants that, and you have to certainly take care of things when you're hiring a contractor. It's good to get 3 or more bids to compare. You want to look at their credentials, go on the website, see if they're registered with the Better Business Bureau. Do a little homework. But some of the things that we have on our website are some tips that help you hiring a contractor. It's certainly not an exhaustive list, but it can help you with some good ideas. And I think if you follow those guidelines, and also word of mouth, there's a lot of good social media out there and different people you can talk to, and even probably some of your neighbors who have maybe had some work done using those contractors. Checking around be a good idea. How long will it take for my permit to be reviewed? Okay, so for commercial work, we have goals, and those are 10 business days, 2 comments, which is basically our plan review. For residential, we have 5 business days. So we try to beat those goals and get to it sooner. But we really are fortunate, depending on how you look at it, or unfortunate, I guess fortunate. We have a lot of work still going on in the city of Plano, so constantly that's a question we get: how long is it going to take to get my permit? But it's always something we're cognizant of, and we're really trying, and we'll try to beat our marks, and those are our goals. Can I pay for my permit to be expedited? We have an element out there on our website which works for third-party plan review and expediting your permits, but that is for commercial work. And we have, I think it's 8, it may be now 10 different plan review sources that have been approved by the city, and you can use them to expedite your permit. If it is a residential permit, we've got 5 working days or better, and we'll beat those goals if we can and get your permit out as fast as we can. Can I replace my fence as a homeowner? Yes. Why do I have to have a fence permit if I am putting it right back where it was? Because we said so. Do I need a permit if I'm only repairing an existing fence? Maybe. Well, let's really get to some answers here. Can I replace my fence as a homeowner? Yes, you can, but you still have to follow the rules and requirements and get a permit for it. Why do I have to have a fence permit if I am putting it right back where it was? That's a good question, but don't want to get into the history of things, but we have seen fences that probably weren't permitted in the first place. And so if you're putting the fence right back where it was, think about that. It may not be right in the first place, so it's good to get a fence permit, because when we discover that, we get a chance to make it right. And I know you guys always want to do things the right way. Do I need a permit if I'm only repairing an existing fence? We have a requirement that's only 25%, so that if you look at the lineal footage of your fence, if you're less than 25% of that lineal footage, you don't need a permit. And again, that could only be, there's always a caveat, within a 12-month period, because otherwise we've had people that have not got a permit less than 25% in May, and then in June they go out and do it again, and then in July they do it again, and then in August they finish the permit with the fence, and they never got one. So yeah, we only limit it 25%. Why do I need a permit to replace my roof? Well, permits are required for roof replacement because we certainly want a registered contractor to get the permit, so that helps you understand you're getting someone that's getting a permit and registered with the City of Plano. But seriously, we do look at the attic when we go on a roof permit, surprisingly, because if you have gas, water heater, the work of putting on a roof, if you've ever noticed it, there's a lot of walking around, knocking around, things banging. The flue from that gas water heater could be knocked loose. So after the roof is installed, we go in your attic and make sure that that flue is still connected, because that exhausts carbon monoxide gas. It's very important, and it is, you can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, and very seriously, it will kill you. So we do not want that happening, so you have to exhaust that through the roof. We also look for any framing members that might have been disrupted during the installation of the roof, and so we check all these things in the roof permit, so that's why you need one. Is a permit required for a carport? Yes, it is. We're looking for the setback requirements for the carport. It can't be any longer than 24 foot. It's no taller than 10 foot. It has to be at least 3 foot from your rear property line. So we're looking for a lot of these things, and so sometimes we have seen a situation where people are building a garage which almost looks like a carport, but then they couldn't make up their mind, so it doesn't work out. So you want to have a permit for that structure and make sure you got a carport going in. How do I know if I have to get a permit? So that's a good question. We have on our website a list of things that require a permit. It's not an exhaustive list, but it does give you a lot of guidelines. But one of the ways to break this down is to simply look at, I'd say, painting, putting in cabinets, carpet, tile, all finishes like that do not require a permit. Everything else does. So that ought to answer your question. And if you have a question still on it, you can give our permit office a call, and we'll give you an answer, let you know what the answer is to what you want to build. Does the owner have to request a permit and an inspection, or an inspection for a water heater? So I think there's a little bit of confusion there in the question and what we're doing, because if a water heater's going in at your house, you probably have hired a contractor to put that in. So the permit should be acquired basically by the contractor, the plumber, to get that water heater in. So the plumber should be calling in for that inspection, and then we come out to perform that inspection in your house. What we see, unfortunately, not all the time, but sometimes, is the plumber may ask the homeowner to take over and request the inspection, and of course you have to be home for that. And I know it can be troublesome because you were home because they were putting in the water heater, and then you have to be home again because we're requesting the inspection. Sometimes it's possible we can do both at the same time. It's a timing issue. But if you give us a call, we can work with you on that. But it is something that we would like to see the plumber call in the inspection, because that's the best way to do it.